my friend.
What up, brother? Still one of the best screams, yells, singing, held out notes, whatever you want to call it in the business. I don't care what anybody says. I love it every
Thank you very
time.
much. That would be my superhero power, is holding out elongating notes.
It just makes me want to go play it.
Right? It's that fucking raw energy, like just, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
In your face. You must accept it.
In your face. I always thought a good name for a band would be Music from the Crotch. You know? It's in your face, too.
You and Rogan would get along real good because he
think
likes
we would.
crazy band names like that.
Yeah. I had a sports show way back in the day called In Your Face Sports. It was cable access, kind of like Wayne's World.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It lasted about 6 months because when I had this show where I talked about baptizing the world with a garden hose because somebody was fucking with me, you know, a call in. So I was being a dumbass, right? And then I later find out 2 days later. I think 2 days later we went to the studio to pick something up, and there was a note on the door addressed to me, and basically told me, "Get the fuck out of here." I later came to realize that Larry John Wright, the owner of said station, was I don't know if he's still alive, but was a very devout Mormon, and he didn't appreciate my garden hose baptizing the world statement because I guess I don't remember it completely, but I guess it revolved around the fact that the Mormon religion and things like that. So
he was offended, in other words.
That was my first time ever being fired on a media platform. I don't know why I just remembered that. That's the weirdest thing, man. That's the weirdest fucking thing.
That's what this show does.
Yeah, very weird. Very weird.
I don't think we ever have to worry about getting fired from here.
No, I don't. I wouldn't think so either. Not at all. Like responding to a text.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
We were talking before we started recording. Tony sent me a message or left it on my page to pass along to Chris that the wish that he has been asking for came true today, and Daniel Jones has been let go from the New York Giants.
Well, and see, here's the thing: it's not so much that. Okay, he's not a good starting quarterback. That's been and be honest, dude. I thought this was his 5th year. I didn't realize it was a 6th year. So holy shit, 6 years.
And he quit. They didn't let him go.
Right. And
let me rephrase that.
Yeah. So 6 years and he still plays like this. Like that's there's something that should tell you. I'm sorry if you're at a job for 2 years and you still haven't gotten it and you still haven't been successful. Now the year they went to the playoffs, that was heavily on Saquon Barkley's back. That was Saquon's healthiest year he played. He was still young and fresh legs, you know, a couple years out of college. So Jones doesn't get credit for that year making the playoffs. That's more Saquon Barkley carried the team and Jones was along for the ride, which is how it should have been, which is why they should have paid Barkley, not Jones. If they would have paid Barkley, which they agreed to do, but then Barkley's agent bounced on them, and had not paid Jones that big fat contract, then I think the Giants would be better record-wise, but we'd still have the same problem that quarterback he can't do the shit he could do. Does he have moments? Yeah, and I was thinking about this last night. Like, if I had access to NFL films, I could probably make an entire Daniel Jones career highlight reel that would last for maybe 10 minutes.
And I'll agree with you.
You know what I mean? So it's not, and I don't know the guy. They say his demeanor's just like Eli, the way he handles the pressure and all that kind of shit.
But
he's very intelligent. He came from Duke University. You got to be fucking smart to be a player in the Ivy League schools, right? So I don't discount any of that. His agent,
but the NFL is a whole nother level. That's what
exactly.
He was one step too slow all the time, right?
Right. Exactly.
Once in a while, like they say, a broken clock's right twice a day, right? Once in a while, he got lucky and everything went right for him, and he did show moments of brilliance. But you can't show moments of brilliance. You got to show moments of failure, right? 95% of what you do has to be good in the NFL.
Exactly.
You're going to get screwed every now and then. You get blindsided. Somebody doesn't get blocked, whatever.
Yeah.
But he made way more mistakes than he did. Right when he was running the offense. I agree with you. I watched enough games to be like, what the fuck? It's like watching the Bears.
Yeah, and it's not. And so now we've talked about this before because I mean he signed this contract in 2019. He was the first round pick in 2019. He signed a 4-year, $160 million contract in 2023. Okay, so this is 24. So he has 3 years left on this contract.
Okay.
But my question is, since he asked to be released and they wouldn't release him, you said so he quit. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's see. There's 2 years remaining on his contract. I just pulled something else up. Yeah, after 6 seasons, the Daniel Jones experiment is over. You don't say.
Experiment.
Giants pulled the plug on him Monday, starting Tommy DeVito. There's been a little bit of backlash to Tommy DeVito, but I think the reason why Tommy DeVito was picked to be the starter over Drew Lock, or Drew Luck, whatever the fuck his name is, Tommy elevated the team when he came in.
Backlash from the fans, you mean?
Yeah. Well, there's some threads that I'm involved in on Facebook, and some people are giving me shit. Why energize a team for playing against 2 shitty teams? Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you're playing. If the quarterback elevates your offense and brings some more energy to them.
Yeah, he's not going to bring that same energy if they were playing a good team.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
Right. No, and that's
so
the reason.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and Dayball actually even said that the reason he chose him over Luck is because of the spark he brought when he started last year. So let's see where Daniel Jones. So 3-13 since signing a 4-year, $160 million contract last March. They're 2-8 this season. We know that. So what do they do now? The Giants, blah blah blah, kept losing, and the fucking Mara wants to stick with Schoen and Dayball because he's tired of changing GMs and coaches, which I get. You need some stability. You need to be able to get these 2 fuckers to right the ship. But it just sucks because I think if they don't let Dayball go, we're going to miss the opportunity, or they are going to miss the opportunity to grab Belichick and let Belichick truly rewrite this franchise's history and build a legacy that will cement his legacy forever. Because I think that Belichick would be great coming back to New York where he started.
Well, maybe even if they weren't going to do that, this is the first
step,
dice to tumble, and then that's just a natural progression from here. It's like we lost our starting quarterback.
Yeah.
We probably should just rebuild from here. I agree with you. If they want Belichick, they're going to have to do it right now.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to snatch him up, and he seems ready to go again. There on Monday Night Football in his easy chair,
Oh, yeah. So there's Daniel Jones's contract, $30 million in 2025, $46.5 million in 2026. None of the money is guaranteed at the moment, but the $23 million of his salary is guaranteed against injury. That means if Jones were to suffer an injury that prevented him from being able to pass a physical next March, the Giants would owe him $23 million whether he's on the team or not. That's not the argument for sitting him down. Separate from the injury guarantee, if Jones is on the roster on the 5th day of the 2025 league, $12 million of his salary for 2025 becomes fully guaranteed.
That's so not a bad deal.
No. And then let's see, if the Giants were to release Jones after this season, and before any of the money becomes guaranteed, they would incur a dead money salary cap hit of $22.21 million on their 2025 as a result of the remaining proration of his signing bonus, but would owe him no more actual cash. So if
he's going to be just fine.
Yeah. So they released him, or he quit, or whatever the fuck it is. He's only going to get $22 million out of that $160 million contract.
Isn't it crazy we live in a world where you can say only $22 million? Those words just came out of your mouth.
I know, dude. It's fucking crazy.
He's going to be okay for failing as a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And surviving, got his wits about him,
Yeah, because I don't know where he's going to land. I think he would be a good backup quarterback. I legit think he would be a good backup, just not someone who comes off the bench. I don't think he didn't have anybody. Was Eli there when Jones was drafted? I don't remember.
Oh shit, you'd know better than I would. I have no idea.
I don't remember, because if Eli was there,
Tony's biggest fear is that Jerry Jones is going to have a senior moment and he's going to try and experiment in Dallas just like they did with the Giants, right?
Yeah. Okay. So Eli and Daniel Jones were on the Giants at the same time. Eli said about Daniel Jones, it's tough in New York. That's just the way it is. You have a short leash being here, and I think it's just trying to get off the fast start. Says Manning when asked about how the Giants instill confidence in Jones. Can we get out there, get him in some competitions, and get him the ball quickly, completions, whatever. So I think Eli and Daniel had a year, maybe. Maybe. If that, because there's pictures of them together.
Well, I was going to say, I thought Eli said something on Monday Night Football about he was there for a year or two, but
yeah,
I can't swear to it.
Yeah, so with the amount of pictures they have of them both, there's at least a year. I just don't remember when. I mean, it was 19. I don't remember when Eli retired. If this is his first year of eligibility in the NFL, what does that mean? He's been retired for 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had a year with Daniel Jones. That's not enough for Eli to mentor somebody. It doesn't give you enough. What's his face on? Oh fuck. I don't know. It's something to be said. Some quarterbacks can come off the bench right out of college, like Jaden Daniels, right on the Redskins,
and just get it.
Right. Bo Nix is playing good, but he didn't come right out of college, start playing. He didn't start till a couple weeks ago, right? And he's the Denver quarterback. But that's Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a fucking quarterback guru,
well,
right?
Wasn't Bo Nix hurt at the beginning of the season?
I don't remember. He may have been.
I think he was. I think he was slated to be the starting quarterback all along. Okay. I think he had an injury in the preseason. Once again, I could be wrong. I could be making all this shit up, but
no. Well, and it's like Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams came out of the college with a chip on his shoulder, right? Oh, you're going to give me ownership in the team that I get drafted. Well, yeah. So that automatically kind of sends a bad message to your teammates because you think you're all that in a what is it? All that in a can of milk or whatever the fuck it is.
And it's a bag of chips.
Bag of chips, right? Okay. and he's good, right? But we don't know how good he's going to be because he just started playing. I mean, the hope is,
and we didn't realize that we had a shitty offensive coordinator. We went through that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Coaching makes more of a difference than even I had anticipated because they played their second toughest opponent in that division as well as they played all season.
Right.
We'll see what they do when they got to play the Lions. I mean, they're probably going to get murdered, but...
When are they playing the Lions? Thanksgiving?
I think that's coming up.
Is it in Detroit this year?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Detroit's a team to be reckoned with, man. Like I'm not surprised.
I love that whole organization.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because there's a years ago, Nikki and I watched this thing. I don't know if you watched it, but they followed 4 owners in the NFL. It was the Steelers, the Lions, the Bears. Oh fuck, who was the other team? A fourth team escapes me, but the 3 owners, the owners that they followed were just the epitome of class and old school. Like, I mean, everybody knows about the Steelers franchise and how 3 coaches in its entire existence is fucking unheard of, right?
Yeah.
The Lions have always been, even though they had such dark decades of football, right? They always have like just this amazing fan base because, what else is there to do in Detroit? And the Bears are just as storied as the Steelers franchise-wise, albeit not the same success, right? But watching that show and getting to know the owner of the Lions through that show and her family, and because it's a woman,
right?
And her family and how, I mean, she's a badass to be a female owner in the NFL against a bunch of fucking asshole men.
The Bears have a woman owner too because
right.
Old man died.
Yeah,
McCaskey.
Yeah, that's
Virginia.
right. Yeah. So and her and the Lions owner, they had little bets and shit when we were watching the show when they played each other. But I really like the fact that the Lions have they're kind of like the Buccaneers, right? And the Patriots, right? Because the Patriots were shit forever.
Right.
And then they all of a sudden they turned it around. The Buccaneers were shit forever, and they kind of turned it around when before Brady got there, they were kind of on the upswing because they won the one Super Bowl with Dungy. Was it Dungy? No, Gruden. But they kind of flipped, and the Lions are kind of flipping. So it's nice to see these other teams flipping because somebody's going to have to knock Kansas City off because Kansas City's Kansas City's the fucking heavyweight champion in the NFL right now until somebody knocks them off their perch, and I don't know who's going to do that.
Buffalo figured it out last week.
They did, but it doesn't matter in the regular season.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? It's, yeah. We all play for the postseason. So I mean, I would love, believe me, and then
agreed.
I like the fact that Andy Reid got fired from the Eagles and went to Kansas City, and it was just like a big fuck you. Look what I'm doing now, because it really.
But once again, here's the difference.
Okay.
Here's the difference backing up to the 2 female owners in the NFL, right?
Okay.
For some reason, Virginia McCaskey just does the opposite of what anybody should do to have a successful football team, and then makes just boatloads of money in spite of herself, right?
Right.
The other lady, I didn't see this show, but after you just said that, I didn't know the Lions were run by a female.
Yeah.
That lady obviously wants to win, and part of rebuilding Detroit, I think, probably was important to her by rebuilding the Lions, right? And the only way you can do that is to win.
Yeah.
So she went out and got the most forward-thinking coach she could, which is why I said I love that organization now. I like people who buck the system and then prove that what they're doing works. Like, he goes for 4th down probably, 80% of the time?
Yeah.
He's like, 4th down's just another down, man. I don't know why we always kick the ball to the other team. Just funny shit like that, he says.
No, agreed. But he's a football player. Dan Campbell, right?
That's he looks like he could go out there and kick their fucking ass.
But he was, and he still works out and shit. He still fucking chews, because you see me every now and then on the sidelines spitting out to Copenhagen. He played for the Giants and the Cowboys, so he was a badass football player then.
Yes, he was.
And so obviously he's a badass coach, and I think there's something to be said for coaches that were players and players that turn into coaches, because you've been there, done that. But
here's the difference that I think is so impressive to kind of even expound upon what you're saying is most guys that think outside the box like that,
right?
They think too far outside the box, and you can't reinvent the game, right? What's impressive about him is he does just enough different to surprise the other team, but he does the fundamentals so well as well, right?
Yeah.
That's impressive for a player, because it doesn't always transfer to a coach.
Correct.
A lot of those guys failed.
Yeah, absolutely. So I found the name of the show. It was called A Lifetime of Sundays. It's a documentary. Lifetime of Sundays. It was a documentary that offered an unprecedented look at the history of the NFL through the eyes of 4 iconic female owners: Virginia McCaskey, Martha Firestone Ford. Her daughter now took over in 2020. So Martha,
of course,
it's
owned by a Ford family member.
Right. Norma Hunt and Patricia Rooney. So you have the Bears, the Lions, the Chiefs, and the Steelers. So it was, I don't know what it was on, but it was a really good show. It's a Lifetime of Sundays, and it follows the four female owners, and just like just the stuff, the everyday operations and shit. The longest owner of any football team is Virginia McCaskey for the Bears. She's 101. She's 101. She's the longest tenured owner in the NFL and the oldest owner in the major U.S. professional sports. That was October 16th.
She would have to be.
that just dropped last month, October 16th.
That's a hard record to beat, man.
Right. So McCaskey's the Bears, the Rooney's the Steelers, Hunt's Kansas City, and then the Fords still own the four football teams. The only team that's owned publicly is the Packers, right? Yep. What billionaire owns an NFL team? The Denver Broncos, Walter Penner Ownership Group, mainly Rob Walton, $77.4 billion in net worth. They own the Broncos. Can you own 100% of the team? A principal owner has to be able to pay for at least 30% of a team. So I guess that depends on the ownership. We don't know who the oldest NFL owner is. Oh, let's see. As part of Art Soul Radio's 365 initiative to support black and biopic owner-owned business throughout the year, there's a story worth reviewing. In 2009, Venus Virginia Williams became the majority owner of the Miami Dolphins, making the first black women to own a franchise. I did not know that. Did you know that?
No.
The Williams sisters are majority owners of the Miami Dolphins.
I did not know that.
Since 2009. That was dropped May 6th this year. It's what team is owned by a black woman? That's what came up. I was like, holy shit. That kind of explains why they suck, because, they're tennis players. They don't know anything about football. Maybe King Richard, their dad, can help them out if he's still alive. I don't know if he's still alive, though. Did you ever see that show, King Richard, that movie King Richard about them?
No.
I didn't either. Will Smith plays their dad, and apparently he's hard as fuck. Which obviously you'd have to be if you have two girls that grow up and dominate the same fucking sport.
Yeah, there is no doubt that no two women commanded people's attention to a sport that nobody really watched at a level that they did after them. Those two were the equivalent of what Caitlin Clark is doing for the WNBA, right? Nobody watched the WNBA. Nobody cared.
I don't watch the WNBA. I don't care. I've heard of Caitlin Clark, but I'm still not.
But there you go.
It.
So that's the example that I use. When you have an impact to the point where two people don't give a shit about women's basketball, and it's not because I'm sexist, No,
it's just
I love
fucking
women.
boring.
It's just not my sport, right? If you love it, that's great. There's plenty of things I like that you don't like. I like Slayer. Yeah. I'm in the minority, right? But the fact that you and I know her name is how much of an impact she had on that sport, right?
Right.
Name three other WNBA players.
Diana Taurasi.
I'm asking a guy who's smart, though.
That chick that got Brianna Griner, who fucking put the finger up like this to America and got busted for smuggling hash into Russia, and then I love America.
Yeah, into that communist.
So there's three.
Block.
There's three.
Okay. Well, ask a dummy on the street.
Okay.
You ever watch those on YouTube? The people on the street, and they ask them who the vice president is, and they
every now and then I'll see something on it, but I don't.
If you need a good laugh, make a point of doing that because it's hilarious. People think actors are the vice president, because they watched House of Cards or something.
Oh, okay. I remember House of Cards. I never watched House of Cards, but I remember House of Cards.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay, and it's
you never actually watched it?
No, I never watched House of Cards, man.
Oh my God, you got both of you guys would like it. It's fantastic.
All right, let's continue down our path of the strange things in the NFL. So, could the Packers ever be sold? Shares cannot be resold except back to the team to a fraction of the price. So the answer to that question is no. What is the smallest market in the NFL?
It's got to be Green Bay.
It is Green Bay. Ding, ding, ding. Give that man a prize. Do any minorities own an NFL team? There are now 7 black I don't know why they call them minorities. They're just people. But there's 7 owners, minority owners they call it. Commanders has a group, and then the Dolphins. That's it there.
For the same reason we're discussing teams. People put people on teams because
exactly. So who is the richest NFL family? Who's the richest NFL family? We just kind of talked about this a minute ago. It's the dudes for the Rob Walton, which is the richest owner in the NFL.
Oh,
the guy that owns the Broncos. Celebrities. Do we have any celebrities that own football teams? Fergie's a minority. Oh, minority owner. I get it. So it's you're not a majority owner. You're a minority owner. I misread that. So it's
they're not actually calling them minorities. Right. They're calling them the minority owner.
Owner, right. So other celebrities, minority
you're under 50%.
Right. You're correct. So Fergie, Gloria, and Emilio Estefan.
I did know that somehow.
As well as Venus and Serena Williams, which we just learned.
The Estefans own a soccer team, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Did Disney buy a football team? No, but they're showing Patrick or Kelsey and Swift by saying that. We already know. Who's the first billionaire NFL player? That's a good question.
Michael Jordan.
No, billionaire NFL player. Michael Jordan played
NFL.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You're not going to get this because I wouldn't have got this.
Yeah, just tell me. I don't even.
Jerry Richardson.
Nope.
Now let's see who the fuck Jerry Richardson is.
Wide receiver.
Now
that I hear the name.
Jerry Richardson.
Is that right?
I don't know yet.
No.
Let's see. He's an American businessman, football player, owner in the NFL. Well, fucking North Carolina. Why is he a billionaire?
Evidently, he was a good businessman.
The Carolina Panthers. Oh, he became the first NFL player since George Halas to become an owner when the Carolina Panthers were unanimously awarded in the NFL. So that's why. That's why he's a billionaire. He's a player that turned billionaire because he bought the Carolina Panthers. I didn't know George Halas was a football player turned owner. I just learned that.
I just learned that recently, but I did know that. I must have watched something on the Bears.
Yeah, okay. Who has only one Super Bowl win?
Oh. No idea.
This is surprising. Chicago Bears, New Orleans Saints, New York Jets, Seattle Seahawks, Philadelphia Eagles.
I was gonna guess the Bears, but I thought they won one like before I was born.
They don't see. That's the thing. So the Giants.
It didn't start till 60 something.
Right. So NFL championships. When you talk NFL championships, you're including the pre-Super Bowl era, because when Nikki and I argue about the Steelers and Giants all the time, we actually have one more than the Steelers because we have NFL championships where they have Super Bowls.
And I think we do too, but they don't count those because the Super Bowl era started. And if you're talking Super Bowls, that's what they're counting. So yeah, we only have the 86, whatever it was.
Yeah, but if you count, but every team has their own little Hall of Fame, awards section in the stadium, right? So you're going to see the championships as well as the Super Bowls. Giants have the 4 Super Bowls, and then they have 3 NFL championships. So, that's what I'm sticking to.
The Bears and the Packers are always back-to-back for the most wins in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because they talk about it every time they play each other. They flip-flop if they win or lose or something. They're within a couple games of each other.
Yeah. And because they've been around for so fucking long. Those are those are 2 of the oldest franchises, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But I would think the Giants would be right up there too, wouldn't they?
Well, they have 7. The Giants have been weird. Like they.
I mean, just longevity.
Longevity. Yeah, they've been around forever. Well, this is their 100th season right now, this year, which is why it's such a fucking embarrassment to be a Giants fan.
I'm thinking a team from New York has to have been around for a long time because they would have started. Every big city had a team first, right?
Yeah,
New York, Chicago.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling that this is the 100th year, like the 75th year. Was it the 75th year? Or they won Super Bowl 25, which was epic. I was thinking Super Bowl when they were 75th year. I want to say they won a Super Bowl, but I don't remember.
What's the first year for the Super Bowl?
I want to say it was. I want to say it was in the 80s with Phil Simms, 86, or the first year for the Super Bowl ever.
Yeah, ever 60 what?
Well, what are we?
I don't know what Super Bowl we're on. I don't keep track that close. I just gamble on the games, man. I watch a couple
1966. 1966 was Super Bowl 1.
I was going to guess 65, so I was going to be close.
Oh, I'm sorry. January 15th, 1967 was the Super Bowl I first. It was the first AFL NFL World Championship game. Super Bowl 1.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers and the Chiefs. Oh, fuck me. Dude, I was watching something. Reggie White. You know who Reggie White was.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So Strahan's got the NFL record of 22 and a half sacks in the league, which was a 16-game season, right? Although his last sack is questioned. It's got an asterisk because Brett Favre just kind of sat on his ass because he knew Michael needed it. And Michael will admit that, and Brett will laugh about it. They don't come openly say yes, but, if you watch that shit, kind of like the stuff that's been rolling around like the Tyson Paul fight. Did you see that one? I showed you that one where.
Yeah, you shared that with me.
Yeah, where Jake Paul's, if you're facing Jake Paul's left face is wide fucking open. His entire left side of his body is exposed.
About 6 inches, right?
Yeah. And Tyson loads up with a right cross. It would just fucking knocked Jake Paul on his ass, and he dove the punch down. So if you don't believe it's been rigged, it's rigged, people. As much as Mike and I hate to admit that. I totally went off squirrel moment, so I don't know what I was talking about before that. Damn it. I don't fucking remember now, man. I was saying something. It was going to be fucking brilliant. It was one of those things that
you led me right into the Tyson thing. I apologize.
It's going to be the greatest thing ever, Oh fuck, I don't know.
We need to be able to rewind, ladies and gentlemen. I got to be able to pause and rewind.
Pause for station identification.
Because he led me right into the. You were talking about the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs, the first Super Bowl. Somehow that led you into. You said,
I don't know how to. It was a dive. It was something to do with a dive, man. I don't know. I don't fucking know. That's
Was there a fixed NFL game you were going to discuss?
No, because it's. I mean, we know there's document proof this year of like Patrick Mahomes going to the referee and say, "Hey, man," because everybody's fucking mic'd now. You don't go to the referee and say, "Hey, man, if somebody comes to my right side or I can't see him, will you let me know?" And the ref's like, "Sure."
Yeah, or like the Vikings game that would have had a different outcome had they seen the face mask where the back line judge was staring right at it. The whole world saw it, including him. And there's no flag. I think there were 3 penalties on that same drive right at the end of the
Bengals
game
Ravens game. Yeah, that was fucking insane. Some of the
that
plays
one too.
Missed. Yeah. I like that human element. Like, I don't think you should be able to replay penalties because if you do, because that's going to be a topic forever, right? It slows down the game. I don't like the game being slow. Like last night's first half was an hour, like an hour and 10 minutes because there's no penalties. You're running the ball. You're completing passes. You have a couple 3-and-outs. And it makes the game more enjoyable because when you get to something where it's fucking an hour and a half, 2 hours for a half, it's like, fuck me. That's a barn burner. It's either such a slow, shitty offensive competition or the defense is standing up. And, I love
right, where they punt 5 times before the half's over.
Right. And I love defensive games, but it comes to the point, it's like, fuck, man, just okay, come on. Somebody do something. That's what was cool about the game last night. I mean, Nikki wasn't happy with the outcome.
Nor was I. I'm right there with her.
Right,
for
but
for different reasons.
Right, the snow was outstanding.
It was a fun game to watch.
That was glorious, glorious to see the snow. And then you had the fact that both teams were just kind of stagnant, and I dumped Russell Wilson happily.
Mostly because you don't have to live in the snow.
Oh fuck, dude! No, I don't. I would fucking. Yeah,
I was part of that myself. Yeah. So. For those of you who live in this part of the country, you can go ahead and say, fuck you, Chris. It's still 80 degrees out there.
Well, let's see what it is today. It's not 80 degrees. 66 degrees, fuckers. It's not 80. Of course, the high today is going to be 82, folks, so just fuck off. Tomorrow's high is going to be 80, but then it starts cooling. Okay, Sunday, 73. Monday, 75. Tuesday, we get a little warmer at 78. Wednesday, 70, 75. For Thanksgiving, it's 70.
Okay.
Nikki and I are running a turkey trot, a 5K run on Thanksgiving morning because Skylar and Michael Eugene Fry Jr. and the little ones are going over to his parents' house. So we're going to go running, see a movie, and go to you remember Todd? I'm going to go to Todd's house. Guys, I can't. I was going to come to your house, but your mom fucking didn't invite me. Kay. The fuck Kay?
You're always invited to.
I was going to drive. We're going to leave Tuesday at 1 and come, but no, Mama Kay doesn't call me up. Hey, come Thanksgiving.
You don't need an invitation, but if you don't say you're coming, you might have to sit at the kids' table. I mean, there's no guaranteed, but you'll get to eat.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm not a big turkey eater, man. Do you like to eat turkey? Let's talk Thanksgiving dinner. What's your ideal Thanksgiving dinner?
Well, for starters, feels like 32 degrees here, so
Oh, fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
Anytime you can't because of your job. Well, too bad they don't have one of those out here, and then you could just relocate. Well, you wouldn't want to relocate though, because you like your life now. It's all good.
Well,
I wouldn't go to the.
It's nice to be near my family.
Yeah, I wouldn't, and I don't have a family, so I could give a fuck. My family's what we have. Nikki, Skylar and Jake and little man and Trip and
And that's where I'm at because I'm not married and I don't have any kids. It's nice to be around my family in case something happens or, it's just nice to be around them in general. But when you're in need, when I was 2,000 miles away, it was a little challenging,
Yeah. Oh, so I've been watching this thing. Oh, no, we're still talking about Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not going to go on that tangent. So let's go back. Let's talk about Thanksgiving dinner. So like what do you guys have for Thanksgiving dinner?
We have turkey. For sure.
And?
Oh, all the other traditional.
Well, what's traditional, man? Because traditions have changed. Like, how does Mama Kay or does what is it, Killer? Is that your dad's nickname?
Steel.
Okay, I was close. I like Killer better, Stan. Just saying.
Hey, so you might like that.
Mama K and Steel. So who makes the turkey?
She makes it and he carves it.
And she bakes it
like a man.
She sticks it in the oven.
She sticks it in the oven in a 1920s roaster. Yeah.
No shit.
Oh yeah. True story.
Okay, you got to take a picture of that shit and put it up on our page.
Which makes an amazing fucking turkey.
So you and Steele and all the other gatherings, people that show up, you're all on the couch watching football while Mama K is busting her ass in the kitchen?
Yes, but we do most of the cleanup when it's all said and done. And she spends very little time doing that part. So once everything's done, she's pretty much done, other than to oversee making sure the leftovers get stored properly so nobody gets sick,
Yeah, no, and
that kind of thing.
Yeah, and we're the same way. Nikki and I, in general, whoever cooks, the other one cleans up. Like I load the dishwasher, I unload the dishwasher.
I'll make that deal with anybody.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind doing one or the other, but when you live by yourself, it sucks to just even think about the task of having to make everything and then looking at it when you're done and going, fuck, now I got to make sure it looks like it did before I started,
Yeah.
I hate that shit. So I like your arrangement.
So what are your sides? Because sides can be different. Like everything's changed in this world, right? Everything's evolved. So I can tell you, like when we do it, when we have everybody here, which is because Jake's in the Marines, he's not coming home. But we got a turkey breast. I'm like, we were at the store and she's like, oh, let's get a fucking turkey. I'm like, I'm not buying a 20-pound turkey. It goes to waste.
We don't do that either. Mama Kay buys like a 13-pound turkey because she has about 12 people, right?
Yeah, we got a turkey breast. We just got a turkey breast.
Which is smart.
That's
what I would do.
Yeah, you just cut the titty off the turkey and we shove it in the oven.
Yeah,
okay?
Perfect.
So we got that. And then Nikki likes stuffing. It's like she'll make...
We have that. My sister-in-law makes that. It's really good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You make it from scratch or is it the Stouffer's
hers?
Stuffing?
No, fuck no. She makes hers from scratch.
Okay. And then Jake's loves cranberry sauce.
Okay. Right. I could take it or leave it.
Right. And then back in the day, I always liked green bean casserole.
So I can't have that. So she makes green beans with bacon for me, and then she makes like a corn casserole. And the thing that everybody likes that I can't have that she does make every year, these cheesy potatoes. Apparently, bomb.
Yeah. No, I've had cheesy potatoes in my life. I mean, I don't do dairy anymore. Right. I stopped doing dairy as an homage to you.
Well, it's for his health, but thank you.
I went vegan because I was like, you know what, fuck it. I can't have pizza, damn it. Then I'm not going to do it either.
I appreciate the protest in this universe.
You're welcome, man. It's kind of like the hair. Like you wanted to shave your head, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to shave my head too, man. It's like you don't want tattoos, so I got twice as many so you can say, hey, I have tattoos.
I can say you inspired me to shave my head because you were bold and did it before it was socially acceptable, which was crazy.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Like 1994.
93, 94, yeah. 93, 90.
You had hair when I
91
met you,
was, yeah, 91 was the first.
It had to have been like 93.
91 was the first time I did it, and then 93, I did it again for whatever reason. I forget why, and it was like right before band practice.
I did it because I was actually going bald.
I wish more people would do that. Like prime example, okay, like the Scorpions. Okay, I grew up loving the Scorpions. One of my favorite bands. I can still remember the OCD counting started when I would count because back then Hip Parade or Circus magazine,
bought them all.
Right.
Well, posters up on my wall.
Yeah, me too, dude. Fucking everything I ever got of Scorpions, man, was just fucking on the wall everywhere. Yep. I had one point in time I had 113 items hung up on my wall of the Scorpions. They're still playing, which is cool, right? But they're fucking wearing hats because they're bald. Man, just fucking shave. Like Matthias Jobs, he's got this fucking hat on. And it's not on properly. You can tell the dude's receding hair. He's still got the locks in the back, but you can tell the dude is fucking losing. Dude,
so here's the only thing I'll say, and I won't call anybody out, but somebody brought it to my attention. That's great if you have a nicely shaped head. Where you and I got lucky. Our head.
This is true.
We don't have a flat forehead, so
yeah, that's true.
Some people would look like Herman Munster if they shaved their head because they actually have a peak at the top of their forehead that kind of goes flat for a second.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point, man. Because I do have the perfect head for it. I like just.
Yeah, me too. It's round, right? It's easy to shave. Looks nice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna the week after Thanksgiving. There's this place down by my office. called Roosevelt Barbershop. So I'm gonna grow it for a couple days, everything, the head and the face, and just go let them straight razor me. I did a video of their shop because they're old school. So I'm gonna go and let them straight razor.
I'd like to try that sometime.
It's pretty cool, dude. It's a nice little thing because the whole concept of the straight razor, right? You get into the barber chair, right? And they'll clean it up. So I'll have two days growth on there, right, and the head too. But they'll clean it up to where it's stubble, which is a trip. So once it's stubble, then they lather you up with they put a hot towel on to kind of wake up all the pores and shit, which is cool because they put it on your face.
Right.
You know, you're laying on the chair and then it's on your head too.
Yeah, I want the experience.
Yeah, and then they'll lather you up for real. And then it's legit. It's the straight razor, and they do it on. They've fucking done my head. I used to do it about once a month, and then I stopped for whatever reason. But I'm gonna do it just to do it because it's been so long. But it's legit, dude. It's a nice, calming, soothing, like meditation. Like you're just fucking chilling out for an hour, you know. And they're just got the straight razor, man. It's pretty badass. So I highly recommend it. You got to have an old school barbershop where you live, right?
There's people. There's probably one down, near where my brother lives. I'm sure because it's a college town. So
yeah,
they absolutely have a barbershop. I don't think there's one left here
in your town.
No.
Wow.
No, we got just like everybody else, great clips, and I guess my dad. Well, she's not. I guess she's a barber. She's always cut. I guess it's a woman barber. There you go. Yeah,
no, the chick at Roosevelt Barbershop, she's a girl. She's a woman. I walked in there and I was like, "How you doing?" This is what
my dad still goes to a barber. I guess that's true.
Yeah, she's like, "Okay, yeah." So ask your dad when you see him. They do straight razors because it's legit, dude. It's a nice experience, man. It's like like I do pedicures with Nikki partly because we're runners and you take care of your feet as much as you can. I've never been a big manicure guy, but the beard, the straight razor shit's cool, man. It's kind of a luxury for a guy if there's It's not like we're American Psycho, Christian Bale, and, fucking doing facial masks and peeling and scrubbing with all these different elements and oil and shit,
Well, you always see a guy go into, like you said, an old school barbershop when you're watching a movie or TV show or whatever, and it just always looks cool.
Yeah, it smells good, too.
I thought after I shaved my head, that's just something I'd like to experience because, like you, I'm never going to have hair again, so that might be one thing that I would like to experience once in a while.
Yeah, just let it grow for a couple days before you do it. Like
that's never a problem. I do it every week. I don't shave every day.
Yeah, so there you go. You go and you set up your appointment, whatever, and you fucking go in there and do before and after pictures. I'll do before and after pictures. I'll throw them up on the page.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So you sent me this thing the other day. I'm gonna read it.
What did I send you?
Oh, I gotta find it.
Hard telling, ladies and gentlemen. I don't remember everything. If eventually I don't remember anything, this is all we'll have left.
So, this is a huge shout out to one of our original listeners, Gravy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The phrase "what the entire fuck" implies the existence of fractional fucks. What the absolute fuck implies the existence of positive and negative fucks. What the actual fuck implies the existence of imaginary fucks. Conclusion: fuckery is isomorphic with the complex field.
Isomorphic.
I'm sorry. I looked at that word. I'm going to say it again. Conclusion: fuckery is isomorphic with the complex field.
There you go.
So there you go. That is the education that we got from our good friend Gravy that was on the topic of fuckton, which apparently is still rolling with over 31,000 plays.
Amazing.
It
lives on.
On just a stupid little tangent about, fuckery.
I actually had that conversation yesterday. I said, you think you're giving out good information and you do all these things that you think are great, and the one thing that starts to take off is, have you ever wondered what a metric fuck ton is?
Right. That's how it started. That is how it started.
Not that I think we're reinventing the wheel, but, we did try and give some addiction advice and, advice on being in a band, being a guitar player and a singer. But the thing that took off was, have you ever wondered what a metric fuck ton is? I find that hilarious.
Right. So
that's human nature.
Absolutely. So this is kind of cool. There's a guy that lives within a mile or so of me that we bought a quarter of a cow from. Quarter of a cow. Not a half cow, not a full cow, quarter of a cow. So he just sent me this thing that his wife finally made him make a Facebook page called Lazy E Cattle Ranch. Real clean beef. So, boys and girls, if you live in Arizona, specifically in the Queen Creek, Gilbert area, there's a dude named Lazy E Cattle that they have a pasture, they just graze. There's no chemicals and dyes and steroids and shit. It's fucking good meat, man. It's good meat.
Nice.
I'm gonna write him a review right now. Because he's got the whole thing, right? Bought a quarter of dead cow, because I like saying dead cow. Let me tell you something, boys and girls. If anybody that you know, okay, this is for all listeners, anybody that you know has a business, go on Google and review them. Every review that you do for somebody helps. You can go on Google and review the Chris and Mike show. You can go on Google and review Chris Thumb, the real estate guy. Even if you haven't never worked with me,
recommend both.
Right? You know us well enough from this, and you can say, yeah, Chris is a funny fuck or whatever the hell. But reviews actually help small businesses grow. So
absolutely,
don't be afraid, even if it's just, hey, great company. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to get elaborate like I'm going to do, where a Lazy E Ranch, I bought a quarter of a dead cow from Mr. Earlsworth.
Yes.
He stayed in constant communication throughout the entire process after I made the purchase. I met him on his ranch. The butcher was actually there and pulled it out of the truck, already boxed up and ready to put it in my truck and to take home and go.
And I'll tell you, that's one nice thing about living in a small community. You get that same kind of service pretty much everywhere you go. And if you don't, those businesses don't last long in towns like this because there's not that many people,
Yep.
So that is one thing I appreciate about a small town. You develop a relationship with people and you get that same kind of service.
Yeah, and it's rare because service, we all know the service industry is going to shit. So,
yes.
Nikki and I don't go out to eat very often. We went out a couple weeks ago to Nando's on Dobson and Germain. Yes, I'm calling you out, Nando's on Dobson and Germain. She ordered a margarita because she likes the margaritas. Whoever the fucking bartender was, he made such a shitty margarita. Like, she asked for the additional mix to water it down because it tasted that bad. And this is a margarita she's had there every time she goes, and we probably can go into that Nando's, I'd say, once or twice a month, maybe.
Obviously too strong if she's asking for more mix.
For 10 years, yeah. It was just shitty. Her food came out wrong, which is probably the fourth time that's happened to this location recently. So something's going on in the kitchen. She wanted the red sauce. They came out with a mixture of, it looked like orange sauce. So it wasn't red. It wasn't green. It was a mixture thereof. And then we called them out on it. They basically called bullshit. So finally, at the end of the thing, I was like, you know what? You need to have some feedback here. Like, you made the drink so bad, the bartender did. You should have offered to make her a new one instead of just bringing the excess, because it was fucked up to begin with. She couldn't drink it so much that she took 2 or 3 sips of it, and it just hit her funny. Like, it was that bad. It's almost like somebody, put the wrong concoction in there. You make the food wrong. In everyday world, when you make a food wrong, because Nikki worked in the restaurant industry, so we're not ignorant and we're not blind to how hard that is and the struggles and shit that the servers and stuff have, right? So we're not.
Doesn't mean you don't have to deliver, though.
Correct, but we're not. I'm saying that so people don't think we're these uppity little snobs, like, oh, I want this perfect. No, we get it. We get that shit, right? We always tip too, because she lived in the restaurant industry, and I was married to her while living. Like, we've always been 20%ers. Like, just doesn't. So if we don't tip 20%, fucking something's wrong, man. When you make your food wrong, you send it out cold, and you have to go get more food, and the other person's food is there. It fucks up the vibe of the dinner, right? It fucks up the vibe of the situation, because you're going there to break bread with a friend. You're not, or a spouse, or whatever. You're on a date. You don't want to have your plate of food and the other person sitting across from you not have their plate of food. That's fucked up. So when that happens, historically, the restaurant will then take that item off your menu, off your tab, because they fucked up. Right. That's them saying we fucked up. They don't do that anymore.
Well, and what you described, especially as far as their drink, the food goes without saying. But
right,
if I would look at them, and if they were offended in any way at me saying it wasn't good, that's when my comment would be, if I wanted a fucking glass of tequila, I would have asked for a glass of tequila, but I wanted a margarita,
right,
which is supposed to taste a certain way.
Yes,
I don't think that would. What I'm saying is, I don't think that's being uppity at all. It's like,
no,
when you go out to eat, you expect a certain level of service, right?
Absolutely. And that's my point, is that you pay for something, and in paying for it, you want what you're paying for. You want the food properly. And again, it's not the first time. So it's a drag that it happened, but it did. And I forgot again why the fuck I was going there.
Well, we had the same thing happen. It's been a couple of years now, and that's how long it's been since we've taken that same group back to this place. Same deal. I mean, long story short, they just did not attend to a table that had like 16 or 18 people sitting at it.
How many?
Oh, there was at least 18 of us. There might have been more than that.
Wow. And they didn't pay attention to you guys at all?
Fuck no.
Wow.
Like, never came back. We had to go get our own drinks at the bar, that kind of thing.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. Oh, yeah.
What place is that?
Because it's a small town, I'm not going to call them out, but
okay.
They know who they are, and everybody
Fuckers.
that listens, everybody that listens to this, which are most of the people that were there actually listen to the podcast, so they know. And we just picked a new place that was a lot cheaper, a better atmosphere, and that's what happens when you don't attend to your customers. So to your point, even if you're in a big city, if you keep doing that over and over again, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, you're not. And that's what they don't understand. The little things like that to fuck up your repeat customers. Like, there's a place called Bacci, B-A-C-C-I, Italian restaurant that we've gone to a few times. We last time we went there, the bill came and we were like, what the fuck is this? Like, and not that we study the bill, but it's like, when it's just Nikki and I, we know what we're going to spend. Like, it's relatively, $60 to $80 depending if she has a drink or not, or if I have a fake beer, right? They put a 4.5% surcharge.
I fucking hate that shit too, dude.
But where they put it was at the very bottom fine print of the menu.
Yes.
So you don't see it. So then by the time so what
old ass eyes like ours aren't going to fucking pick up on that.
So we just ended up taking that 4.5% off the 20% tip, which is a disservice to the server, but they should have had. We went somewhere else, and it was obvious, man. It was prevalent. It was like, look here, man. Here's the fucking. There's a surcharge because of this, because of that, whatever the case may be, which was fine. So we knew up front,
Yeah. The place I went to last night had it clearly displayed. If you're using a credit or debit card, there will be an automatic $1 surcharge.
Yep.
I'm like, well, that doesn't seem out of bounds because, like you said, some people start with a percentage. So
yeah,
and like you said, at least they were upfront about it. There's a clear sign.
Yeah. The other thing about tipping is now you have some out here anyway. You'll have some when they bring you the bill, they'll list like 22, 26, and 28%. So you give you the math because like I found out last week that Arizona, 54% of Arizona reads below 6th grade level. So obviously that means 54% of the people in Arizona can't do math, which is pretty fucking sad.
Yes.
So, and we've known it. You see it, like when you go pay cash or something, and the cashier's standing like, "Oh fuck, it's $1. It's $4.08. I got to give you back how much?"
Yeah.
And you watch them struggle with that. It's like it's just fucking sad. That's
if you don't let them read it off the register, they're screwed.
They're fucked, right? Yeah. So it's the same concept with the tabs now. They're giving you suggestions for tipping. None of the tipping suggestion is 20%. So
it's all more than 20%, right?
So
yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, and I think that's fucked up because you're making the assumption that your service was good. same token, you have like Red Robin, big fucking example of Red Robin. They put that little thing on the table that you push the button.
Okay.
So does Texas Roadhouse now. So essentially, you don't need a server because you can just order off that little tablet thing. You can hit the button, say I need refills. You can hit the button, say I want to close out. You can hit the button, you can pay your tab, all on that little thing. Why the fuck am I paying you, server? Because guess what? The waitress or waiter isn't typically the one that runs the food.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones I hate the most, dude.
Right.
So we got a place like that, and once again, their food's good, so I'm not going to call them out. But it's the same kind of deal where you're either going to go in and sit down and eat, and then absolutely you're going to tip somebody. And you and I have both discussed we're good tippers when the situation warrants it, right?
Exactly.
When I've had a good meal and I've had good service, you're going to get a damn good tip. It's going to be way more than 25% every time, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But when I walk in and I stand at the fucking cash register and I say, I want a sandwich and I want some fries and I want a drink, and then I go sit in the waiting area and you bring it out to me, you didn't do shit. I got my own drink and you brought me a bag so I can take it home, right?
Yeah.
Why do you get a tip for that?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's right there, just like you said, on the fucking display that I'm paying on.
Right.
What do you want to tip? I don't want to tip you shit.
Exactly.
I just want to pay for my food and leave. I wish you had a drive up. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like drive up windows now, and I don't do a lot of drive up food. Every now and then I'll grab something when I have little man. They got a little box now hanging out the drive through window, right? Like you have the window opens up and then there's a little box here that's for tips. Like, wait a minute, you're doing your job. Like you're getting paid because fast food restaurants, they make like what, $16 an hour now, something. I mean, I understand that cost of living, blah blah blah, and I'm not immune to that. But when you're already making $16, $17 an hour for basically going, down a hallway,
that was not traditionally a tipping job. I agree.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
When they start turning shit into what was not what do I tip the fucking guy at AutoZone now too?
Yeah,
when he goes and gets my battery because he
Yeah.
rang it up on the cash register?
Yeah, exactly.
Does he get a tip? Where does it end? That's the problem.
Yep. Exactly. And I don't get it. But, and the other one, what are the other ones I've seen that are just fucking ridiculous? Oh, I had a buddy who does pest control, and I noticed that when he was doing his houses, right, that people would tip him, and I thought that was weird. Like you're a bug guy. Why would you get tipped?
The bug guy got tipped?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Once again, even if you're in business for yourself, obviously you're getting paid.
Right.
But especially if you work for Orkin or, some national, well, I'm not tipping the Orkin guy. He gets a salary just like the guy at the fast food restaurant, right? You're getting paid an hourly wage to do what you're doing. If that's the case, then I should get a tip.
Right. I don't get tips. Nobody's ever tipped me in my 25 years selling houses, boys and girls. And I'm not one of those fucks that just takes the money and runs. People can attest that I stick with them. I follow up with them. Birthday cards, anniversary cards, all that kind of jazz.
In your defense, you cut your commission a lot for, veterans and
yeah. Oh yeah. I've given
for
you're
veterans, actually giving money away a lot of times.
Yeah. I've given probably to now about $150,000 back to veterans when they use me to buy or sell homes, just because I can and because they're vets. But in the 25 years selling houses, I've maybe 5 times I've gotten gifts from people that I've worked with. I give them closing gifts every time. I don't feel right getting a gift from somebody because it's my job. It's not. I don't do it for a tip. I don't do it for a present and an accolade. I'm doing it because I'm helping you achieve the American dream, and that's I get paid. That's how I make my living. I sell houses, and every house I sell, I make an income from that. And it's I don't make $1 million on every single house I sell, so I'm not going to be a millionaire because I sold your house, but I do earn my money, so I don't need a tip. It blows my mind. Like, are we going to start having tip jars for surgeons? Hey man, I gave you a little extra, a couple little extra stitches there, man. Can you help me out? Like, you know,
if you make sure that I don't feel any pain and everything comes out all right, maybe that guy does deserve a tip,
right.
You know, or gal,
right.
whatever, you know, that person.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the coolest tip I ever got is when I was working at Guitar Center in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And if I could remember their names, I would. But they played in a pretty successful band.
Okay.
And they came in looking for a bunch of equipment. Their gear had gotten stolen, and they were in town, blah, blah, blah. Needed more equipment. Their U-Haul trailer got robbed.
That's fucked up.
We've all been there. I've been robbed. We've discussed that. But so I helped them out, and they were on their way and played their gig. And unbeknownst to me, they came in because I expressed interest in this one guitar. I said, I fucking love this guitar.
Oh, right on.
And I don't know if we've gone into detail. We will someday. But all guitars have a personality just like people. They're not all the same because they're wood, right? It's an organic piece of equipment.
Yeah.
This thing was beautiful. Well, they went with a different one because, individuals were different. And this guy wanted a Fender look versus a Les Paul. I come in the next day and I walk into my manager's office and there is that wine red Les Paul in the case in his office. And he's like, I need to talk to you.
I was like, oh, fuck, I'm in trouble.
I thought I was in big trouble, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, so-and-so, whoever they were, came in and they really wanted you to have this. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Well, unbeknownst to me, they were there and I didn't know it. They came in and I was like, fuck, man. Nobody had ever done that for me that I didn't know. You know, I had friends of mine buy me guitars before, and I actually had a collection taken up when mine got stolen to buy another one. But those were all people that wanted to see me succeed or love me on some level, you know. It was just crazy. So I sold that guitar to move back here. That's the $800 I had.
Gotcha.
Which I took a huge loss on that fucking thing.
Yeah.
But that was sad that I had to let that go.
Well, that's still cool they did that. And you don't remember the band?
I don't. I wish I could.
Yeah.
That was one of the, we haven't discussed that time in my life. That was pretty bad. That I've been saving that for when Tony's on here because he probably remembers more about me than I do then.
All right, cool. We'll save that for a Tony conversation.
And that's a true story. He probably does remember more about me at that time in my life than I do. That was bad.
That's good. That's good that somebody remembers and is still your friend.
Yes.
You know?
Hard to believe.
Yeah. You know, well, I'm excited to have Tony come on the show, dude. I'm thinking about getting a couple more people out here. I got a buddy named Jay that I took him to Alter Bridge. So I was going to Alter Bridge. We talked about this before, last time they were in town. So Nikki, it was a school night, so Nikki wasn't going to go. So I invited this guy I knew, and I say knew, that owns a record store. And when I picked him up, he was being an ass. On the way there, he's being an ass. We got there, he's being an ass. And he was ruining the moment for me because it's fucking Alter Bridge. It's you know.
I'd be pissed.
Alter Bridge to me, because they're tied to Creed, and Miles Kennedy is just one of my, like, you know, there's a handful of vocalists that I could just stand and watch for days. Just literally stand and watch
I
for
admire
days.
Tremonti just like you do him. So that's
yeah.
You know?
Tremonti's like the first time we went to that, Nikki took me to their show, Marquee Theater. The first time we both saw them live, and we were standing in front of Tremonti the entire night. And when we were done, she made the comment, like, basically saying, "Holy shit, he's amazing." So good. Yeah. And people don't realize how tight those three are. You know, the drummer Skip and Brian and
they've
Tremonti.
been playing together a long fucking time, man.
For as long as we've known each other, because they were. I've always used the thing that we were Creed before Creed was Creed, because that's how I wrote. That's how our music was. It was arena rock. It had content behind lyrically and melody.
Yeah, we were there first, folks.
Yeah, it wasn't just this stupid little let's go party and get high band. That everybody was doing. We were different, and Creed was different, and that's why Creed exploded and did what they did.
Agreed. We knew the world was ready for that kind of music,
right? And
we said that all along.
Absolutely. So he was running today. He was running it like he was just. I'm not going to go in detail because people know him that listens to the show probably, and they know who I'm talking about. But I'm not going to bash him. But he wasn't making it a very fun environment for me. So I'm like, dude, I'm just going to take you home. Didn't say 2 words to him.
On the way to the show, you took him home?
No. We got to the show, and we got into the show. He complained the entire time we were waiting in line. He complained when we walked in the show. He complained that, I mean, everything he did was complain.
Okay.
It was just negative Nelly comes to mind. So I just like, fuck it, dude, I'm going to take you home. And he's like, all right. So we got in the truck. I fucking took his ass home. Didn't say a thing to him. When we got there, he's basically saying, you need to fucking use your turn signal. I was like, fuck you, dude. I'm done. Like, just go away. Like, really, because it was such.
I fucking hate people like that.
Well, he's the guy that thinks that the way to be your friend is to beat you up verbally.
I hate those people.
Right. Like, because he thinks so little of himself, he's got to badger you down to the point that you are on his level. And he spent his entire life, being not so much a roadie, but going, like, he has some amazing stories of Metallica and Ozzy and everybody you can think of in the 80s and 90s that were on tour. He was with in some way, shape, and form. He was the guy that got the drugs and the booze and all that kind of shit. But those musicians just rode him hard and just made fun of him and poked at him because he was their lackey, right? He was their little go get this bitch.
Unless they were cool like us. I mean, we wouldn't have done that.
But even then, I think even the cooler ones at some point in time are going to be like, dude, fucking get out of here. Like
at some level, sure.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you're too much of a hanger on her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's a meme that's been around for years with Hetfield and Steven Tyler. I'm sure you've seen it. They're at a festival or something and they're like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Famous.
He's in that. They just cut him out of it when they made the meme. Like he's on the side of that picture. But he was just so fucking bringing me down. I'm like, I'm taking you home. So I took him home, and I haven't talked to him since. So then I put something up on a buddy of mine named Jay. He's a lender. And unbeknownst to me, he was a fucking huge Ultra Bridge fan. So he gets down to the place before they go on. He misses the meet and greet and stuff. But he gets down there before the show, and we're sitting right in front of Miles Kennedy the whole show. That was like the highlight of his year. So and the reason I bring him up, I want to bring him on because he had a records, an old school like audio sound, like a vehicle audio type place back home wherever he's from. But he would be somebody I think that would be cool to talk music with because he has that knowledge and intimate knowledge of music and his life revolved around music from a sound system type radio record store type thing. I'm not sure exactly what his gig was before he came out here and got into lending. But I think about him. I think he'd be cool to come on.
That's awesome.
And I still got to poke at some other folks to get on here, especially now that I can do it in this part of the house, and it's nice and open and it's not confined. And it takes about 10 minutes to move everything from my office to here, but I like it. It's a better vibe.
That's what, I mean, for like a technology geek like me, that's what's crazy is people have no idea how easy it is for Chris to pick his stuff up from his office and move it because the box is about as big as a cigar box.
Right.
And the microphone and a stand and a couple cables. That's all you need nowadays. Literally what probably cost $100,000 to do at your house in 1990 cost, a couple thousand at most nowadays. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So, see, boys and girls, there's the Mac. The Mac's all-in-one. There's the Focusrite, and then under the table, that's the jump box.
It really is crazy.
So I'll throw this up on our Instagram page so you can see how. And this is all Mike too, because I never did. Like when Dean was on here, we didn't do a podcast, even though I wanted to do a podcast. We just never did it. We never evolved to that because I thought Good News Arizona would have been cool as a podcast as well as a show.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's something that's very simple to do, which I didn't realize how simple it was going to be to do until you and I started doing it.
It was simple once I got my shit together and figured out that my internet had to be up to snuff. But yeah, exactly what we thought was possible. And I guess by we, it was me because I did all the legwork up front. But it also takes a blend of personalities to make a podcast work, because no matter how much, somebody wants to give Rogan credit, he would be the first person to say, I tried to do it by myself.
Yeah.
And it never would have worked, because you have to have a certain kind of personality. I honestly think that you could pull off a podcast by yourself, because you can become different characters super easily, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's what it takes. If you ever want to really laugh your ass off, listen to Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, because he does it completely by himself, no video, just audio.
Okay.
But like you, he can become all these different characters, and he actually gets irate with himself and then will argue against himself, right? It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, right on. So I could see that. Bill Burr.
You have to have that kind of personality. Otherwise, it takes the blend of bouncing ideas off each other. Otherwise, there's a lot of dead air. I tried it myself too and threw it away. One time. Yeah.
I thought about doing it just for from the fact of doing real estate related, like every day pick a topic and just kind of go over shit like that. But I haven't done it yet, because again, I've done enough. I did enough radio and Good News Arizona that everything's better with two people. It's just better with two people, because nobody wants to see a talking bobblehead,
No. It really does take a unique personality, and of the one person podcasts, Burr's is the only one I listen to, so that tells you everything you need to know.
All right, cool.
That's it.
I will check it out. Anything else you want to touch on?
I think we ran the gamut, man.
I think it's a good place to stop. I got some shit. I'm putting Christmas lights on Little Man's Fort outside. I got Temu, and I got to go get some staples, because I was doing it yesterday and I fucking ran out of staples. And didn't realize how much Christmas lights there are in this fucking little thing, because they're little LED lights.
Oh, and that's what I'm getting ready to put up here.
It's probably like 3,000 or 4,000, and the whole thing could wrap around my phone. That's how small they are. But I got to finish it, because it's half.
Well, the reason I haven't done it yet is the same reason you just said. I grossly underestimated how many lights I need to wrap the entire ceiling.
Yeah, and see, this thing was just
a lot.
So many. This was so many, and I wasn't thinking it was as much as it was.
Yeah, that's probably the one I need.
Yeah, so I'll take a picture of it when I'm done at night, and you can check it out.
Awesome.
It's insane. It'll be cool. All right. There you go. For Chris and Mike, I'm Chris. He's Mike. This is the Chris and Mike Show. Don't let the bad days win.
People.
Don't let the bad days win.
You beat me.
I did beat you, But we're all in the same thing. That's what we do, right?
Same team.
Hey, and by the way, the chickens love eating the exterior of a pancake sausage dog. That's their new treat I feed them in the mornings, because Little Man only eats the sausage. So I cook it, and then I cut it with poultry scissors into little silver dollars. He plucks the sausage meat out of the pancake sausage corn dog part, and I give it to the chickens.
Awesome.
So there you go. I sent you the video of my stuff, my setup.
An animal that will eat their own shit.
Yeah, I don't have access to our Instagram page. You do. So I sent you that little video I just took, so you can post it on our page.
What do you mean you don't have access to it?
Do I have access to our Instagram page?
I thought you started it.
I don't remember.
I'll put it up there, but
I put it on Facebook. I did the Facebook. I think you did the Instagram.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I just go like the Facebook. The Instagram shit. I don't think I have access to it. I may. I don't know.
We'll have to figure that out then.
It's not that big a deal. All right. Peace out, brother. Love you.
Love you too, man. Have a great day.
You as well,
Thanks
my
for
friend.
listening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, boys and girls. We'll see you next time on the Chris and Mike Show.